Hello, welcome to Chapter 7. This chapter will be about the Korean number systems. We have Sino and native Korean numbers. So why are there two different number systems in Korean? It's actually not really explained as to why there are two, but many languages use more than one system to count different things. So, for example, English uses Arabic numerals and sometimes Roman numerals as well. So the two number systems are Sino-Korean numbers, which are based on Chinese characters or Hanja, and we have native Korean numbers, which are also known as the pure Korean numbers. So today we'll be going over both the number systems, their usages for counting, time, dates, and some practice. First, we'll be going over the Sino-Korean number system, which is derived from Chinese characters. So here is a basic chart of the Sino-Korean numbers, and I will read out the numbers 1 through 10. So 0 is 영 or 공, 1 is 일, 2 is 이, 3 is 삼, 4 is 사, 5 is 오, 6 is 육, 7 is 칠, 8 is 팔, 9 is 구, and 10 is 십. Now, I only read 1 through 10 because we're going to take a look at the next numbers. If we look at number 11, it is just the combination of the numbers that we just went over. So it is 십, 일, 10 is 십, and 일 is 1. So 11 is just 10 and 1. We're going to continue using this formula for all the numbers up to 100. So 20 is 이, 십, 이 as in 2, 십 as in 10. 30 is 삼십, 40 is 사십, 50 is 오십, 60 육십, 70 칠십, 80 팔십, and 90 구십. Now once we get to 100, 1000, and the bigger numbers, we will still use the exact same formula, but with these new numbered terms. So 100 is 백, 1000 is 천, 10,000 is 만, 100,000 is 십만, and 1 million is 백만. And we're going to use the exact same formula. So 101, 101 would be 백일, 200 would be 이백, 2000 would be 이천, and so on. So when exactly do we use these Sino-Korean numbers? They are used for addresses and dates, money, if you're discussing any amount over 100, and for phone numbers. So next, here are some Sino-Korean rules to follow when we're using this system. First, once we get to 10,000, we will remain using 만 for units of measurement. There are really no other units for numbers larger than 10,000 until we get to the really, really big and crazy numbers like 100 million. Instead, the large numbers are read based on units of 10,000. So as we just learned, 100,000 is 십만, or literally 10 times 10,000. Rule number 2, when a number larger than 1 begins with a 1, the initial 1 is not pronounced. So we have some examples here. 10. 10 is 십. It is not 일십. We have 110. It is just 백십. It is not 일백십. Then we have 1110. It is just 천백십, not 일천백십. And the last one, 11,110, 만 천백십. It is not 일만 천백십. And finally, the general idea of Sino-Korean numbers are that they are often used to signify information or represent something theoretical. whereas native Korean numbers are used for quantifying something. So the example we have here is a room number. It's something theoretical versus the number of apples you could see in a market or something. You could count those. All right, let's move on to native or pure Korean numbers. And once again, I will just quickly read through them. So 1 is 하나, 2 is 둘, 3 is 셋, 4 is 넷, 5 is 다섯, 6 is 여섯, 7 is 일곱, 8 is 여덟, 9 is 아홉, and 10 is 열. So once again, with 11, 12, 13, and up, we will combine the numbers that we have just read through. So 11 is 열, 10, 하나, 1. The difference here from Sino-Korean numbers is that the numbers for 20, 30, 40, and up, so each of the multiples of 10, are not just the combination of the smaller numbers. They now have their own specific terms. So 20 is 스물, 30 is 서른, 40 is 마흔, 50 is 쉰, 60 is 예순, 70 is 일흔, 80 is 여든, 90 is 아흔, and 100 again is 백. And if you can see on the bottom here, or you may have noticed in some of the numbers, they have parentheses and a different term inside. These are terms that get shortened when they are placed before a counting noun. And these are 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, and 스물. So here are the uses of native Korean numbers. We use them when we count generally or when we count things, for numbers up to 99, and for time, but only for hours. The next section we're going to go over are counters. And you're probably asking, what are counters? And we'll go over that as well. So, counters are essential in using numbers in everyday life. These counting words help us talk about things like slices of pizza to share with your group of friends or the number of apples you want to buy at a grocery store. Counters are necessary for us to understand exactly what we're talking about. For example, in English, we wouldn't just say, "Can I have one water?" We'd instead say, "Can I have a glass of water?" or a bottle of water, or even a jug of water. And these are what counters are. So here we have a list of common Korean counters, and I've highlighted the most important ones we will use in everyday life. So here we first have the counter for people, 명. Then we have the counter for things, 개. Then we have the counter for animals, 말이. Next we have years of age, 살. Then we have time, 시. And this translates to o'clock, so 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. And lastly, we have hours, which is 시간. All right, we are moving on to some practice problems now, and the structure of these problems are already given to you. So we have the item first, then the number, then the counter. You're going to be the one to fill in the number and the counter here for practice. And feel free to go back to the previous slides if you need to refresh which number system to use or which counter you should use. But take a few minutes, pause, and try to do these on your own. All right, have you finished? So, the first one, 5 bananas and 6 apples, please. This will be 바나나 5개와 사과 6개 주세요. Next, number 2, 4 people will come tomorrow. 내일 4명 올 거예요. Number 3, I am 21 years old. 저는 21살이에요. And number 4, I have 2 cats. 고양이 2마리 있어요. Next, we'll be going over time. Time can be a bit tricky for new learners, and you'll see why in a second. So now you must know that when telling time, hours are read in native Korean numbers, but minutes are read using Sino-Korean numbers. So this means that when you're telling time and you use hours and minutes, you will have to use both number systems. And when referring to time when an action takes place, the particle 에 is attached to the end of the time noun. And we'll go over this more in lesson 8. When writing time, you just use the plain numbers. You don't have to write them out in words. And here at the bottom, we have some essential vocabulary for when you're talking about time. So we have 새벽, which is daybreak, very early morning. 아침, morning. 점심 is noon or lunchtime. 저녁 is evening. 낮 is daytime. 밤 is night. And then on the right-hand side, we have 시, which is hour, 분, which is minute, 오전, which is AM, or literal meaning is before noon, and 오후, which is PM, or literal meaning after noon. So, how do we tell time in Korean? First step, well, this says is it morning or night, but it's more like is it before noon or afternoon? So 오전 or 오후, depending if it's before or afternoon. The second step, what is the hour? Then you're going to have your number and the particle 시. Step 3 is what is the minute? You're going to again have the number and 분. And then you add your sentence ending to it. So here, looking at everything we've put together, it is 오후 3시 30분이에요. Alright, next we're going to be doing some more practice. Again, you can take a pause and look back at the previous slides if needed, but take a few minutes and try to fill these in on your own. Alright, number 1, it is 9:10 in the morning. Since it's in the morning, it's before noon. We have 오전 9시 10분이에요. 9 is 9 and 10 is 10. And remember, these are using both the native Korean number system and the Sino-Korean number system. Number 2, it's 1:50 p.m. 오후, because it's after noon, 1시 50분이에요. And number 3, I wake up at 7 a.m. in the morning. In the morning, 오전 7시에 일어나요. In the last section of this lesson, we will be going over dates and days of the week. And here are the months, and I will read them through for you. January is 1월, February 2월, March 3월, April 4월, May 5월, June 6월, July 7월, August 8월, September 9월, October 10월, November 11월, and December 12월. So months uses the Sino-Korean numbers as well. Please note that the words for June and October are read as 6월 and 10월, not 6월 and not 10월. And again, these numbers are written in Arabic numerals when writing the months. So instead of writing out the words, you would just put the number. And at the bottom, we have days of the week. So I'll read it out. Monday is 월, 요, 일. Tuesday is 화, 요, 일. Wednesday is 수, 요, 일. Thursday is 목, 요, 일. Friday, 금, 요, 일. Saturday is 토, 요, 일. And Sunday is 일, 요, 일. And our last practice for this lesson. Please take a couple minutes to pause, go back and review the previous slide if needed, and try to fill these in on your own. All right, number 1. It is the 5th of May. 5월 5일이에요. Number 2. It's Tuesday. 화요일이에요. Number 3. My birthday is the 13th of August. 제 생일은 8월 13일이에요. Number 4. We have a test on Friday. 우리는 금요일에 시험이 있어요. And that brings us to the end of lesson 7. The number systems can be confusing at first, but as you continue using them, they will get easier with time. Thank you for watching and happy learning!